when your daughter is having problems with her spouse, with her boyfriend or whatever, you need to be the first person that she can trust, because you're the first man that she was ever supposed to trust. And if you crush her when she walks through that door, then she's going to seek that elsewhere. And that's sad. As a father of a 30-year-old now, I've had to hear some things, and I've had to swallow my pride and work on my feelings and my emotions and be able to hear about something sexual that happened or something, whatever, but she's trusting me. And I think for girl dads, that's one of the hardest. It's different to have a conversation with your 30-year-old son about his sex life. That's easy. But a conversation with your 20, 30-year-old daughter, 21-year-old daughter about her sex life, now that's rare.
Well, I've been married 19 years, working more on my marriage. And I was having this conversation with God about it. I'm like, dude, and he's just bringing clarity, like, dude, don't take this personal. Like, this isn't about you. Yeah. This is about who I need you to be for her. Yeah. And I think the same thing goes for our kids. Like, if you have kids and a wife, you have been entrusted that you have what it takes to take care of these people. Like, these people have been placed in your hands to care for and nurture. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's super critical for us to understand our role, and so I think that the dealing with your own stuff, doing the deep work, and then not taking it personal.
Yeah. And here's one more thing.
Good.
Here's one more thing I'll throw out. Don't make the open door policy a trap.
Oh my gosh. Freaking yes. Talk to me about this. This is gold.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes. I mean, it just hit me hard, but I want you to explain what you mean.
Especially for girl dads. If you're a girl dad listening to this and you're like, oh, sweetie, it's an open door policy. You can tell me anything and we're going to talk about it. And then she tells you something.
Yep.
And it's something that, let's just be honest, most dads don't want to hear about their daughter's sex life or relationship life or anything like that.
Yep.
But you put it out there. It's an open door policy. I'm a safe space. And then she walks through that door and you crush her. Dude, that will stick with a kid forever. And you just turn that open door policy into a trap. And once you violate that, it's going to be nearly impossible for your daughter to ever trust you again with that type of information.
Yeah.
And here's the importance of this is that when your daughter, as a girl dad, when your daughter is having problems with her spouse, with her boyfriend or whatever, you need to be the first person that she can trust, because you're the first man that she was ever supposed to trust.
Yes.
And if you crush her when she walks through that door, then she's going to seek that elsewhere. And that's sad. And so, as a father of a 30-year-old now, I've had to hear some things, and I've had to swallow my pride and work on my feelings and my emotions and be able to hear about something sexual that happened or something, whatever, but she's trusting me.
Yeah.
And I think for girl dads, that's one of the hardest. It's different to have a conversation with your 30-year-old son about his sex life. That's easy.
Yeah.
But a conversation with your 20, 30-year-old daughter, 21-year-old daughter about her sex life, now that's rare.
Yeah.
And it's rare because I've trapped them.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a beautiful moment with my oldest when she was about 12, where she shared something with us just about kissing a boy. You're 12, but you weren't supposed to. Yeah. And, but my wife and I, we went into this conversation going, this is all about how we respond, regardless of what happened. This is all about how we respond. And I'll tell you, 100%. We responded so well. It doesn't mean there wasn't consequence to things, right? It doesn't mean that there was like this, a little bit of a trust breakdown, but the response to it wasn't the blow my shit, go crazy, be an idiot. And so it's led to, because I was very clear. I was like, hey, I want us to acknowledge, like, you share something that you felt were so nervous, and we're having a conversation around this. And dude, it has literally changed the way that we've communicated, not changed the way, but set a tone, like you're
Yeah.
saying, through middle school and high school to have dialogue and trust. And I think
Yes.
that what you're sharing is so critical for dads to hear. Because I think sometimes we think we're supposed to either be naive and act like there's nothing ever, right?
Right.
Which is ridiculous. What doesn't it just have to be with a like relationship, but with anything? And then the opportunity to cultivate that relationship of trust. And I love what you said here, man. I wrote this down. You're the first man she should trust.
You
I
are.
mean, dude, gold.
Yeah.
Gold. Dude, love it. Okay, let's keep cruising here. When you think about fatherhood, what have you learned about yourself? I mean, you've dropped a couple things, right? You sounds like you've lived a life. We talk about teen dad. You've dropped prison a couple times. You've dropped military. There's been these phases, but let's just stick on fatherhood for a moment. What have you learned about yourself through the process of being a father?
I probably will say one of the things that I learned about myself is how unprepared I was to be a father.
Mm.
And what I also learned that, like a lot of things that happened in my childhood, or a lot of the reasons why I was unprepared as a father were not my fault, but it's 100% my responsibility to make sure that I prepare myself now and do the work that it takes. So, a lot of guys, and, I work with guys now. I'm doing a class right now called Forever Fathers. And I meet with guys. We just did our second session last night. And
love it.
The first thing we talk about is our father wounds. We talk about our baggage and our history and all. And I even asked the class, I'm like, hey, everybody here, raise your hand if you feel like your dad prepared you to be a good dad. No one ever raises their hands, Ned. Like, I don't think I've ever had one guy raise his hand. And so we acknowledge it, but then we say, now it's our responsibility, though, to be that man, to be that father that we never had. And I think what I've learned about being a father is that it's 100% my responsibility to fill the gaps where there are gaps and to work my hardest to be the best version of a dad that my kids can have. Because I can't go back and tell them, oh, it's your grandpa's fault. Can't do that. Or your great grandpa's fault or whatever. Like, we can't blame it. It's on us. And so again, it's not our fault what happened to us, but it is our responsibility to make it right.